nice Saturday here in Taipei. So I'm just taking a bus just north of the city to Yangmingshan, big national park just up there. So it should be about 45 minutes up until where I get to the final bus stop, and that's where I'll start my little hike. Just been dropped off at the bus stop, so at the base of Yangmingshan. I'll put a link in the description to show where the bus stop is so that anyone who wants to look on Google Maps on routes coming up here can easily do so. There's definitely tons of buses coming up from different parts of Taipei. So behind me up there is Yangmingshan, that's where I head first, and then I'll figure out a route going down from there. It's feeling a little bit fat on the bus up here. Just felt like haven't been doing enough exercise lately, and that's part of the reason for heading up the hills today. So in that spirit, I've got myself some health food here, and I'll just snack away on that, and then I'll start heading up. Just ate that and it was truly awful, worse than feared, but anyway, hopefully that gives me the calories and the strength that I need to climb up this thing. It's generally a pretty steep path. I've done it a few times before. Most of the mountain climbs in Taiwan pretty much are like that. They just head more or less straight up. So there's one of those today. Anyway, yeah, so off on the trail pretty soon. I'm just on the early part of the trail now. I've started climbing. So it's mostly pretty steep, like I say. Probably be peeling off a layer or two sometime soon. The national park is called Yangmingshan, and that Shan means mountain. So it's like Mount Yangming. Yangming sort of seems like it should mean sunshine. Yang is like sunshine, sun, and Ming is like light. But actually apparently it's just named after some fellow who was surnamed Yangming, an artist or something like that. So it was originally called Grass Mountain. You see later on it's like a really grassy summit, and you see signs around here, you know, referring to Grass Mountain on the street and stuff like that. But yeah, it's Yangmingshan now. There's no actual specific mountain called Mount Yangming though. So the one I'm going up now is Yangmingshan. So Yangmingshan is just used as the name of the region and like the national park as well. So anyway, I'm huffing and puffing already. Probably put the camera down and take off this layer and continue. Just heading up a super steep little section here. Yeah, the stairs are going straight up. This is definitely the style in Taiwan for ascending a mountain. Just go right on up. It's actually similar from my experience in Japan. So it's also a little damp, kind of real shady section. So on a wetter day, it's really quite slippery on the steps there. Super rainy here. So it's obviously a nice day today, but they actually get like 4.5 meters of rain a year up here, Yangmingshan. So that's pretty intense. Taipei itself is super rainy. I mean, Taipei gets over 2 meters, but just being higher up, this is where a bit more of it hits. So yeah, pretty intense, thick jungle. But not too long, and I'll be up in the grassy area. So coming up soon. It's actually quite a cool day here in Taipei. So about 16 degrees or something like that, I think, in town was meant to be the high. At about 800 meters here, I'd guess. So let's say, I don't know, 12, 11, 12. Bit of wind around. Good kind of temperature for climbing. So I'm getting relatively close to the summit now. Definitely in the grassy section, and just to be clear, it is like a tall grass. So at this point it definitely obstructs the view. But once you're up the summit, you can see into the distance pretty clearly. Yeah, a bit of a hazy day, at least in Taipei. It happens a bit in winter. The air coming across from China obviously is quite polluted over there. And not to say that Taiwan doesn't produce any pollution, but especially in winter it's more of a China thing with the coal burning that happens over there. There's not really much need for heating here in Taipei or anywhere south of here either, obviously. So yeah, it's not particularly the fluctuation between summer and winter with the air pollution is mostly a China related thing. So anyway, that's life. Hopefully I'm above the worst of that here in terms of what I'm breathing. So I'm up at the main peak now. There's a east peak just on there about a couple of 100 meters away, which I think is ever so slightly lower, higher, I'm not sure, very similar. So like I say, the view today is a little bit hazy. Basically you can look out to the ocean and rather than see the usual blue, you see a mist of coal dust and coronavirus blowing across from China. So anyway, I think I'll head from here to Xiaoyokeng, which is it says 1.6 kilometers that way. It's kind of like a sulfuric, well, geothermal area basically. There's a lot of volcanic type activity in Taiwan, so I'm going to wander down that way. I haven't been that way for quite a while. Usually I go the other direction, which is over that east peak that I was just mentioning before, and that leads to Longshuikeng. So it's just basically where, well, it's a nice area. A bus goes from there, also good views and stuff like that. And there's some little hot pools there as well. You really can't make out much now. So down there, but on the other side of the hill there is Danshui, which is like a little community on the coast, and then in that direction is central Taipei, and I can just make out the Taipei 101 building, but you won't be able to see it on the camera, I don't think. Well, it's a bit windy here, but I'm just passing some of that geothermal area that I was talking about, that volcanic type sulfuric area up here. So quite interesting. So behind me are some of those geothermal vents with the sulfuric smell. And I know a lot of people think of it as fart smell, but I don't know, I kind of like it in a way. Like if this is a fart smell, I reckon it's the kind of reassuring, self-esteem generating fart that just gives you the sense of like, you know what, I farted with the best of them, because it's really not that bad. Basically down at the car park at Xiaoyokeng, and from here I'm going to take a bus back to Taipei. So yeah, it's a pretty impressive spot actually. You can hear the steam just like rocketing out of a vent down there, and good views and everything like that. It's a pretty interesting place. It's always surprised me that Taipei just doesn't have more visitors coming up to places like this. In New Zealand this would be like a major hotspot, I think, but there's obviously people here, but it's definitely less known than I think it is the similar kind of places in other countries.